welcome back to another weekly vlog. I thought we could spend a productive kind of week together. We need to be on it with our routines and consistency this week, and just thought I could share what I'm getting up to. It's actually my final week in Spain before heading back to the UK. We've got an event which I thought we can kind of organise together. We've just got some final bits to sort for that. Quite a bit to get done this week, so I thought I could bring you along and also just share like my current routines, some of my training and some new recipes that I've been working on as well. It's Wednesday when we're filming this. I did actually start filming yesterday, so I'll include some clips, but I was having a bit of a shambles yesterday. I didn't want to bring my neggy vibes to you, if you know what I mean, because I thought I'm not starting my week like this, but a few things just kind of threw me off, just as a little bit of just something. I nearly climbed up some ladders yesterday to climb through a very big window, and then I was thinking, what am I thinking? I got locked out, and just, you know, when it was just when things come, they tend to come in fours. It was one of those kind of days. So anyway, off to a much better start. Today I've been up and I've done my meditation, which was great. I skipped meditation yesterday, and I'm sure that's why I was having a bit of a shambles of a day. And there's a theme, and I always notice, it's always at the end of the day, I'm like, oh my God, wait, I didn't meditate today. And I see such a correlation, and it's not even in my head, because I notice when I haven't meditated, like I just find that little bit of time in the morning just brings you into yourself, even if it is literally just 2 minutes, just to think, right, how do I want to spend my day today? What is my kind of main intention? And it sets you on the straight and narrow, what I like to call it. I also had my dad here as well, and it was just a chaotic kind of few days. I find as well, you know, when you're sharing your space with a lot of people, like my dad's friend was here as well, which was really nice, and we had a really good weekend. I just feel a bit overstimulated, to be honest. I think that was just the theme yesterday, whereas I'm much fresher today. We've got some new nails, which are so flipping long. I don't think I've ever had such long nails. This hand's looking good. This hand is slightly questionable. I now understand. So over here they do the Russian manicures, which they really take off all your cuticles. And I don't know whether my nail lady usually does that at home, but my fingers are quite sore and swollen right now. But I do we've gone for like fairy vibes, which is quite cute. Don't know about you, but I am so flipping happy for this fresh new month. I'm really glad February's over, actually. I feel like I had those 2 weeks that were just so out of sorts for me, you know, and you just don't feel like yourself, and just feel like I want to go full send into March, like with getting out of my head. You know, sometimes when you just find yourself like overthinking things a lot more. There were a few weeks in February like that, and I can't tell you as well what a difference having that deload week was. Like, I try and keep track of, basically, I'll do a deload week every 6 to 7 weeks, and I'd left it 12 weeks without a deload. So that is just where you drop your weights by like 40 to 50%, reduce your sessions by like take out 1 to 2 sessions out of your usual routine, and just give your body chance to recover. And especially if you're progressively overloading and training into failure a lot, these are so necessary, because you're putting so much stress on your nervous system, and you kind of start noticing symptoms. Like if you're finding that you're just really unmotivated in the gym and you've been consistent for a while, it's usually a good time to do something like that. So that is one thing that I'm going to keep tabs on, and just like make sure in my calendar that I've got it marked, like when to do a deload week, because you kind of forget otherwise. I'm just going to do my little journaling sesh, actually, because I was putting it off. Why do we put off the things that do just help the most? I do not know, but it's just part of it, isn't it? I've been doing some I am affirmations recently, which are so powerful. Just the word I am, and using that word for, you know, things that you're feeling a little bit like rocky on. So last week was my self-confidence. I was questioning myself a little bit more, and I just wanted to do some I am affirmations. And you know, when you say certain things out loud, like I am confident, or if you say the word like I am, whatever it is that you're thinking that you're not right in this second, you can literally hear in your voice, like you go a bit quiet when you say something that you're not feeling. And the more you put power into that, the more you can create more of that in your mind, which is just insane. Like, we are so much more than we realise. Our thoughts have so much more of an impact, I think, than we give ourselves enough credit for. So if you're having a lot more thoughts that are maybe a little bit more like spiralling, a bit more neggy, it's really worth addressing them. And it's something that we have to continually do. Like, say if you've read The Secret once, or you've read a book on positive thinking maybe 5 years ago, you're constantly refreshing that, because it's so easy when you go through like a couple of rocky weeks or a couple of months or years where you're not feeling quite like yourself, that these thoughts just start to become your norm, and those thoughts could be more like negative, and obviously our thoughts create our behaviors. So if you're finding that you're doing things that aren't really aligned with your goals, like your actual actions, like day-to-day actions, like you're not really training as much as you'd like, you're not doing your journaling, it comes right back to your thoughts. So always start with addressing your thoughts, like whatever it is you're worried about, writing it down. Like with your journaling, it doesn't always have to be practice that is always positive. Like something I've made the mistake of before is, you know, when you're going through a really hard patch, this was a few years ago, and I was doing a lot of journaling. Of course it's great to write down positive things, but sometimes you need to be able to go back and in those moments when you've had times that have been harder, just to look at like where your head was at, and that you can then sort of flip the switch as well. So like always finishing it off with like, how can you put something into a positive, so it's not all just like moaning, but you have got that initial like, oh, I'm a bit worried about this today, what I'm going to do to counteract that. Say if you're stressed at the minute, what I'm going to do to de-stress is to write a prioritised list of things that need doing today that are going to help me feel less stressed by the end of the day, so that you've got your problem and then you've got your solution. So it's not just like you're just writing out your problems with no solution and just coming away thinking like, well, that did absolutely nothing. Oh my gosh, I had a really exciting delivery yesterday, which is my Flowness cards that I've waited about 6 weeks for. This is just another sample. I've been trying to get them right. So basically it's my affirmation deck. Each day you get a different message. So basically you just do the cards. Right, so today, take a deep breath, and then I just want the right message that will be relevant for my day. Oh, this is a nice one. Today's message is, don't ask yourself what the world needs, ask yourself what makes you come alive, and then go and do that, because what the world needs is people who have come alive. That's a nice one. They're all around mindset, gratitude, positivity, and all have a slightly different message. And then you can put this up on your actual desk. It's so super cool for me. With this, so you can have it next to your laptop just as a little reminder throughout your day, and then just go just like that. How cute is that? I'm absolutely obsessed. I'm going to get Mason to pick a card as well. So now to plan out my to-do list. What I'm using at the moment is Notion. You know when you end up doing these really long to-do lists and then they just end up overwhelming? I need to just put it into categories into Notion. So like I have my Flowness Club to-do list, my personal to-do list, and then like content creation to-do list, and then just, you know, just like miscellaneous, like get your upper lip waxed kind of area. So I just need to pop that in, and then I quite like having just a paper to-do list as well. Basically just separate stuff into projects and tasks, and then I have sections. So I've got like life, home, socials, video editing, and I filmed a new course for Flowness, and I just need to put it into like sections basically to upload. So I just need to put that as an actual task rather than just like do course, because that makes no sense. Got a very frothy coffee. I've got my 417 hertz music on, which is like a healing frequency, which I put on every now and then. I try not to play it like all the time because you just kind of, you get used to it and associate it with like work if you've got it on in the background. I'm just gonna do some journaling. Just pulled up to the gym and I feel like I've done 10 rounds with Mike Tyson. That is how I feel this morning. So I went for a deep tissue sports massage last night that I definitely didn't have time for, to be quite honest. Like I crammed it in, but I'm keeping one thing consistent at the moment, which is my acts of self-care, because I just got into the habit of just totally just not, obviously I go to the gym and everything, but my days were just so like crammed busy and I felt just disconnected from myself, you know, like I was saying in the week before last's weekly vlog. I've just wanted to make sure I'm still prioritising like my other forms of self-care, so just like slow movement, for example, or some form of stretching. So I treated myself to a massage. The first half an hour I was literally, my brain was just in overdrive, like thinking about my to-do list and all the things that I hadn't managed to do, or like, you know, when you're just getting new ideas. And then I actually managed to switch off for the last half an hour, and then the lady who was doing my back decided to literally go in. There was like a knot and it honestly felt like a fist was in my back, and it was agonising actually, but she managed to get it out. She had an elbow in there. I felt like she had her foot, which was really good. And this is why when you are lifting weights, like you need to make sure you're stretching. For that whole half an hour I was thinking, oh my god, Olivia, if you'd have just flipping stretched out after your upper body sessions, maybe we wouldn't be in this situation. You could have a relaxing massage rather than being beat up. And today was actually supposed to be an upper body day, but there is no way that I'm lifting anything. I did 2 fat loss phases last year, like throughout the entire year. One was like a gradual kind of lifestyle fat loss phase where I created a calorie deficit. If you don't know what a calorie deficit is, it's just where you're like losing fat, but it was in a real gradual way. Like my rates of fat loss, so it not about weight loss, but fat loss, was much smaller, like 0.1, 0.2 of a kg a week, for example. That's really realistic, manageable. And then I did a competition prep, which was actually, we did that really gradual over time. And then the last few weeks, the last sort of month was when my calories were much lower and my expenditure was sky high, and I feel like I adapted to that pretty well. And I am someone who I feel like I can adapt to a calorie deficit, but it's only now that I've been in a surplus and I can see the differences in how I feel. Like I have so much more energy, and I wanted to just talk to you about how sometimes we can strive for bodies that are, say, super lean, and we all have different set points, and this is something that we don't all understand. Like what is lean to you might be different to what is lean to me, and like we all function at different body fat percentages because we all have different muscle mass, different set points. Like our body's all like a unique kind of weight set point where you feel your best energy wise, and it's not on like what you look like, but it's how you feel, how much energy you have. And when I got super lean for that competition, I didn't feel like myself. Like my personality was different, as in I didn't have as much emotion, and there were so many things that were limited, and it's only now that I feel more like myself. I'm like, whoa, that is just simply not worth it, if that makes sense. And I'm sharing this just because you can look at people on social media and think, oh, I wish I had that body, but do you really? Because what comes with that is usually things that people don't speak about, and I just wanted to shed some light on that because I just don't ever want you to feel like you need to look a certain way. What if you looked that certain way but you didn't feel like yourself, you didn't function, you weren't healthy? What are we without our health? What if your hormones weren't functioning? What if you couldn't cry? There's all these things that come with being super shredded lean, especially like that kind of like competition lean. I like to tell you things that are really on my heart, if you know what I mean, and that was one thing that I also kind of wish my younger self knew too. We're going to go in and train glutes. I'm actually really looking forward to this session. Currently training glutes 3 times a week. Playing it by ear because I usually only do 2 glute sessions, but I've done this for the past 12 weeks and I still have managed to recover, but I'm kind of wondering whether to drop back to 2. I'm going to see how I go this week, but we've got a hamstring focused lower body session today. Really looking forward to that actually. I'm going to do some admin and just catch up on some emails and messages. And do you know what? I'm actually going to start scheduling time to catch up with my WhatsApp. I feel like I'm in a few different group chats. Is it me, or do you find this as well? I just can't keep on top of my WhatsApp. Like I've made a bit of a thing with myself, because what I was finding was, do you ever find yourself, you keep on top of, say, your emails, your work correspondence, but you can't keep on top of like your friends and family? And what is the most important thing? Like we need to be checking in with our friends and family, and I just wanted to readjust. And I don't know whether you're thinking this too, but like just check where you're giving all your energy and make sure it is in the right places, because if everything was to go out the window, what would be the most important thing? Doesn't mean you need to be on there 24/7, but like we can't be on our phones all the time, like replying the minute we get something. Like I wish there was something, well, I think it is, you just need to accept. And I've definitely accepted over the past few months that I'd be on my phone all the time if I was replying there and then to every single, like everything at all times. And it's not realistic because you need time to just be in your phone and not be in your phone. You need time to be just in your own energy and have your phone on Do Not Disturb. We get notifications left, right, centre. Doesn't matter if it's a message, but we could never get anything done if that was the case. And just having more boundaries with myself has been a little bit of a theme around that. And just explaining as well, like communicating with people, say if you feel like you haven't been as good a communicator, should we say. Right, I've brought my own ankle strap today because I forgot this the other day and I couldn't locate one in the gym. I'd always recommend having one of these if you do kickback type stuff. I've got deodorant on today, I didn't forget that. Finished. Oh my lordy lord. Checking if my back is bruised from the massage yesterday. So I've had the brows done, I've had some lunch, I've just drank a whole 1.5 litres of water because it's 3 times at 2:30 and I was like, oh my god, I've barely drank any water today. So just done that. What do we think to the brows? Why didn't I get these done sooner? I feel like I got them tinted and I love like a thicker brow. I feel like it just shapes your face a little bit more and I haven't had it done in a while, so I feel loads better for that. And I've just driven to Flow, which is my favourite little cafe spot, to get some work done because I was sat in the kitchen working and I was just getting super distracted. So come down here, I've just got some like deep work to get done, like editing some emails that I've been putting off and correspondence that needs sorting. So let's go and do that. And also I keep proceeding to throw my SD cards in the bin. I don't know why I've done this twice because they're the little mini ones for this Osmo camera. Don't know why I keep doing it. One thing I've been doing recently is just doing more washes throughout the week whenever I have time, rather than leaving it all to pile up, say on a Saturday or Sunday, and then you're just in and out doing laundry majority of the day. And also just tidying up more as I go, like not leaving a trail behind me, so doing that. And then, because I think Mason was out the bed after me today and the bed wasn't properly made, it doesn't matter what time of the day it is, I have got to have a well-made bed. Then I went and trained upper body, so starting off my upper body day with some stretches and just to open up my back. I've been trying to spend more time on this and not just doing a warm-up, say, for your upper body, but making sure your legs are nice and loose and tracking my sessions. And I share all this inside Flowness. If you need help with this, I've got you covered. But I track my weights and it's been really nice being able to progressively overload, and it's so much more inspiring when you can actually see your weights are going up. Like, I've been getting stronger every single week. This is another reason as well why there's so much power in properly fueling your sessions, so making sure you have something carb focused before you actually train. I promise you, if you've been training fasted for years, you'll notice the biggest difference. Like, you'll be able to actually be sustained, as in like your energy doesn't sort of crash mid-workout. Here's one of my favourite upper body movements. Like I love this row, and then going into some lateral raises. This is a bit more challenging one because it's all about just making sure you're stable, but I've been really just trying to refine my form, especially with things like tricep work, not moving my elbows too much and just keeping things nice and controlled. And then here's a little hack. So with your lateral raises, if you find you can't really increase the weight, just add a little bumper plate. Like you can usually find one knocking around like a 1.25 kg or 2 kg slider plate that you can just slot in. Like say if you just feel like you've been stuck on the same weight for forever, obviously if you don't change, as in if it doesn't get more challenging, then you're not really going to progress with that movement. Then I usually finish my upper body day with some direct ab workout. And something to mention is make sure if you want to build your abs like any other muscle, so make sure you're progressively overloading. I know how tempting it is to do kind of just body weight stuff, and I think there's a time and place, and of course you can do some deep core work, but if you want to build actual strength in your abs, then we need that resistance from weights, from things like hold. And then I made a little trip to get some makeup bits that I'd ran out of, and I'd spilt so much stuff out of my actual makeup bag, so I needed to get some new brushes, a new beauty blender, and just have a little browse round, which was quite nice. Got home, I've got changed into something comfier. I was going to work from that cafe, but actually I was like, I'll work from here and I'll do some multitasking. So I've got my walking pad out, and then I'm just going to get some laptop work done. Just wanted to tell you about this podcast that I've had on, and I've been replaying podcasts. You know when you find something that you really like or that really resonates, you feel like you forget what it said, or you forget where you even hear things from. You're like, was it this or was it that or was it a book? So I've been making sure if I really like something to replay it a few times, like even if it's 2 hours long. And even if, say, some of my YouTube videos, I would say re-listen to stuff. If anything resonates with you ever, re-listen to it, just so it's like, it's in your head, you know, because I feel like there's so much information coming out as left, right, centre. It doesn't really go in, or it's hard to digest. But it was Lewis Howes and David Guillaume. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name, but he's a manifestation expert. It's quite a spiritual podcast, if that is your kind of bag as well, but super interesting. And I wrote notes, but basically it was about your limiting belief systems. So, you know, say if you're wanting to evolve, or if you're wanting to, say, attract a partner, or attract money, attract more abundance into your life, or just better health, better anything, it is really worth looking at your limiting beliefs, like your systems, you know, things that we've just kind of got ingrained that are just part of us. And I love that he gave some practical tips on this. So one of them that I wrote down was like, if you want to examine your limiting belief systems, just get a pen and paper and literally write down, what do you believe about love? What do you believe about prosperity? Write it down, you will see the limitations, and then show them to someone who's achieved things that you would also like to achieve, and ask them, like, what are your thoughts on this? I don't know who I've got in mind, but I'm going to do it with Mason or someone like that, and I'd recommend doing it with someone obviously that you're close with, not just like a random, like, what are your thoughts on life? But I just thought it was a really good idea. And then spending more time with people who don't have the limiting beliefs that you might have, so like a good friend. And this doesn't always have to be about money or about things. It could just be someone who's like a really good mum, or someone who has got qualities that you really admire. Just spending time with them, asking them questions like, how are you a good mum? Use that as an example, and I just want to share that with you. And then just a few quotes. We love a quote, don't we, over here? A bad day for the ego is a good day for the soul, and when someone hurts you, they expand you, which is so hard to swallow. So you know when you're going through it, like you're going through a situation that's hard, or something comes at you and you're just like, oh, I've had enough of this, like that is always for your highest good, even if you can't see it at that moment. Like that is always going to expand you. And I think when you can take on that mindset, your life just becomes a lot better, because you can see how everything's like strengthening you as a person. And we all go through really tough stuff. So I think if you can adopt that, like that is the mindset that I want in my life, and more of that as part of this reinvention journey. I feel like this is a good thing for us to be continuously working on. That was my TED Talk. Did I just see a bicep vein? These veins were not here a year ago. If you go back to my old videos, these did not exist. We're getting strong, and there's no better feeling than feeling strong. Right, I was going to say unbox. I'm just going to show you what I picked up from the shop. It's like an itty shop, you know, one of them just like itty bitty shops. I've managed to locate an Airbnb for next week. So next week we've got our second ever Flow Nurse community event, which I'm so excited about.
and I've just been trying to order some like last minute bits. I'm trying not to go over the top, but you know, I love events and I love making spaces. I just like all the little details, if you know what I mean. But it's just because it's in London and we're going to be getting the tube, we need an extra set of hands, so I'm just trying to sort that out. We leave Spain next week. I don't even know what day we're on right now actually, when we go. Less than a week until we go back to the UK, and I'm really looking forward to going home and sleeping in my own bed actually. I need to check dietary requirements of the Flonus goes to make sure we've not got anything, and basically we're doing like a lunch and then a dinner later on, and we're just going for a walk, doing like nice journaling vibes. It should be really good, and you're coming with. I've only got limited spots, which is a shame. Otherwise, I would love to have everyone there. But we can definitely do more in the future as well. Okay, I've done a tidy up as well. The only thing when I work from home, I just end up either doing my washing. I've already put a wash on. I put my gym bag in the wash. Hopefully it doesn't disintegrate. Unloaded the dishwasher, and then I really am itching to get the Hoover out, but I need to get work done. Does anyone else have this problem? Like, I need to stop because this is why I can't work from home. But you have to do it. My mind's like, I'm gonna have to do it at some point anyway. Gone through a whole bar of this in 2 days, and I'm pretty sure, I don't even know if Mason had any, but I go through this salted one. If you already know about this, it's the best. Got some shredded carrot. I'm quite liking nice salad bags at the moment. These stragolatelli, I really not how to pronounce it, protein yogurts. These I've been topping on my oats, just as a little creamy goodness. With my nutrition, because of prep, I had 6 months that was, there was like not much additions, you know, for my bodybuilding competition. So I've been adding things in. My gut is funny kind of reaction to things, and I've been doing different treatments. I went for acupuncture. There's loads of benefits that acupuncture is really good for, things like circulation, things like your gut health, your skin. You can even get it in your actual face. I did have a bit of a funny second experience. So I've been for 2 sessions now, just 1 a week. I don't know if I made the lady nervous because I asked, you know, sometimes when you ask a few questions and I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't have bothered asking, or like, I didn't mean to put her on edge, but I was just like asking her questions about the needles because Mason was asking me questions the other day, and I was like, actually, I don't even look when she puts them in, but she put 2 in my wrist. I hope you're not squeamish. 2 in my wrist, 2 here, 1 in the middle of my head, and then 1 in my belly button, and then by my feet. And when she put 2 in my wrist, like it nipped me a bit, and I feel like it hit something it shouldn't have hit, or it had gone a bit deep, and I could kind of feel like an electric thing. So I mentioned it, and then she was like, oh no, it's fine, it's normal. And then she was proceeding to tell me about her experience with a guy who was training going into a wrong part, which really panicked me because I was thinking, I feel like that's what you've done to me. But anyway, I just laid there and it was fine. And then as I was leaving, I like went to get up and she'd forgot to take the needle out of my belly. And then like the one on my wrist, as she was taking it out, like my hand was didn't kind of like a spasm, or like felt like an electric shock, so it must have done something. But it's put me off a little bit, or maybe I just won't go, I don't know if I'll go back there. But she was so nice, but I feel like a bit like traumatized at the same time. But I have noticed the benefits, like whenever I've gone for a session, I feel so calm, and it helps, like obviously you're getting blood flow to that certain point. It's supposed to help with recovery as well. So I definitely want to keep it up when I go back home. Don't know how we've gone from carrots to that. Really, got some salad bags, cucumber, more salad, coriander, some red onion, green beans, then these protein yogurts that Mason goes through these quick as well. And we ran out of yogurt last night and we were both going through cupboards, devastated. Got some mushrooms. I love some mushrooms. Some turkey. Thinking about going back home, I'm really excited for the meat selection because I've not really got all of the meat over here recently. And some mixed frozen berries. Ow! Ooh. Some tomatoes. This is the general stuff that I get all the time. Gonna make a yogurt bowl. I have this snack on a daily basis, usually twice as well. So it's my blueberry bliss bowl. So it's literally just blueberries, a generous amount. Microwave then some walnuts, which I'm really liking at the moment. And then 0% Greek yogurt. This one is all about the consistency. Like you want one that is nice and thick, not runny. I feel like the runny ones just don't really touch the sides, if you know what I mean. Like they're just like too watery. So about 250 grams of Greek yogurt, some vanilla, nearly out of all this stevia drops, or you could use honey. Definitely need something to sweeten it. And then some cinnamon, and then some crushed pecans and walnuts. This is really nice because it adds a bit of crunch texture. And then some drizzle of peanut butter, and then just a little bit of dark chocolate. Kind of matches my pouch. Delicious. Perfect spot. I've got this early, by the way. How cute is this? It's a little green flowy fairy hair clip. Just pulled up to Dionys, which is where Mason and I are going for a sauna session. It's a spa, and I actually came here on my birthday. Got loads of work done earlier. I was editing some YouTube stuff. I've uploaded, what else have I done? Some emails. I booked the Airbnb. Yeah, that's gone through. Just checking that it's actually gone through. That's next weekend in London, where we'll be staying. I think it's a 3-bed. It was a pretty good deal actually. It looks nice, and where we're hosting the event, it's not far from, so I'm looking forward to that. Mason's just pulled up as well. It's 5 o'clock now, so we're gonna do some sauna. I brought everything with me. I brought both our Kindles, a notepad, because you know sometimes when you come, I think it's like a 2-hour slot that we've got. You know sometimes when you come and do something where you're like in stillness, I always think I should have brought my notepad. I should have brought my book, and I'm just sat here and I don't end up going on my phone. You know, like just scrolling away. I want to be mindful. And then I don't know if they've got food. I can't even remember. No, I did eat here last time. Maybe get some nibbles, or maybe we'll make something nice and have a little date night at home tonight. But it's been a really good week. I felt like, I don't know if you get like this, you know, on Fridays when motivation, or when you've just hammered it throughout the week, and then Friday comes around and you're just like a little bit like, I need a day off sort of vibe. Today's been a little bit like that. Like I felt myself procrastinating more, and things have taken me way longer. Wow, a handsome man with a fresh haircut. Wow. Only thing that's missing is a robe. I would love to put a robe on right now actually. Just gonna put my swimsuit on. It's really nice here actually, and we have the whole place to our, like the whole spa bit to ourselves for 90 minutes. It was 45 euros each, and you get 2 glasses of cava, but we've changed it to decaf coffees, rock and roll on a Friday night, and I think you get a fruit platter. How nice is that? I think we can order food down there if we fancy it. I'm just going to go in the sauna. I feel like I'm going to try and stay in the sauna for as long as possible. I feel like my whole body just needs some heat through it. And then the pool is heated, did he say? But it's really quite cool actually. And this is actually, it's not far from the villa. And we've been saying we'll come here for like 2 weeks. Finally got around to it. I'm glad I brought my Kindle and stuff. Like 90 minutes is a fair amount of time, isn't it? That's quite juicy. Oh, we've got robes. And we should just say that's perfect. Ta-da! This is what I like to see. A flipping leather robe. Got a little towel, some slippers. Oh, this is lovely. We've got our decaf coffees, a little fruit platter and some water. And then maybe we'll order some stuff as well. Oh, this is like the perfect temperature, and it feels brand new. You know, sometimes saunas can like be a bit grotty. This is really nice. And I'll flip you around so you can see. But there's even little windows so you can see out. Mason's gonna love this. He's just gone to, I think he's gone to the gym here. Here's the little windows out here. It's lovely in here. I don't know what I'm doing with my hair.
Every time I look in the mirror now, I feel like, who's that?
What do you mean?
Haircut.
It's a really nice haircut. Mason had gone to a different barber, and what was it that you got given? It wasn't good, was it? It was
a taper. When you get a taper, 2 days later, it's like you've not had a haircut.
It was just like a trim, like just by his ear. I really wasn't a fan. I was trying not to say anything. Just pulled up to the gym. I'm having quite a nice chilled Saturday, so it's 1:20 and I think the gym will be pretty quiet at this time. I've got my glutamine, creatine and electrolyte in lychee flavour. Oh, it's so nice. So that is my water, and I've just been on TikTok. I don't know why this has come up on my For You page, but it's this dog. This and a piece of effing cheese. I think this is like a current trend with dogs and I love it. So that has just made me smile, and I've just had that song, you know, that anxiety song, that anxiety. I won't hurt your ears. Anxiety. Yesterday, you know, because I was in the sauna, I feel like I've scrubbed off all my tan because my neck, I just caught my neck and I was like, oh, my neck looks a bit long. And I think it's because all my tan's come off, but obviously I've got makeup on my face. The agenda for this lower body session is I really want my glutes to basically be really sore after this. Like, I'm craving one of those sessions, so we're going to go for it. Let me quickly show you the event next week. We're actually bringing over Alina from Amsterdam. So Alina's been part of my team, which sounds funny to say, since I think 2021 when I had the first Live and Lift app. She was my first ever hire, so it'd be really nice to have her over.
We're in trances, going off to different places, different planets. Watch your aura pass me by, losing balance. What if we run out of time and second chances? Empty-handed. You like the fast life, you like to drive and get down and dirty, act like the bad guy. You want some love, me like when you feel like calling at midnight. You got the best of me, you got me losing sleep. I've been hopeful, baby, I was hoping maybe that you crossed my path. I've been sinking lately and it's hard to move. Think I'm stuck on you. We're in trances, going off to different places, different planets. Watch your aura pass me by, losing balance.
So Sunday is my rest day, so I decided to go for a trail run. So I do cardio twice a week, and then I usually do these sessions on days that I'm not lifting in the gym. And it was so nice and sunny out, so it got out for a trail type run, which is challenging. Like running on these rocks, oh my god, you have to concentrate so much on not rolling your ankle, so it's helpful having like a decent trainer to support these runs. But this was the halfway point, and it's been so stormy all week, so it was just nice to be able to actually see the sky and the sea not be super choppy. And then I was just stood watching this horse in this riding school. This place has actually been empty, so it was nice to see a horse. That was so nice. I wasn't feeling like that, and I feel so much better for getting some movement in. Then Sunday was super chilled, so we went out for brunch. We found this new spot that we hadn't been to before, which had a sea view. It was gorgeous, and the sun came out. It was colder than what I actually thought. Like, I felt like I needed to have brought a jacket as well as a jumper, but luckily I had that in my bag. And then we just devoured the breakfast buffet they had here, which was so good. I had all the avocado, all the eggs, smoked salmon, and went back for a few plates. And then I had a little mooch along the seafront, got some work calls done and just sort of organised myself for the week ahead. And then we worked from this little cafe for a few hours, just organising everything.
just got back to the car. Oh, this has been such a nice Sunday. So I went for that run this morning and then had breakfast at home. I sat and had my oats outside on the patio. This is the first day it's been sunny in I don't know how long. And then we drove down to this new place, which is about half an hour from where our place is, and it's by the beach. It's like a different part of the beach, and it was a gorgeous vibe. They had some like Bob Marley kind of music on. So we've just done about 3 hours of work. I've just been doing some Flowness Club check-ins because it's the final day of the Lean and Align challenge, and we start a new challenge in 2 weeks time. So just been going through that and also just planning everything because we fly back to the UK tomorrow. Haven't packed yet, so packing is on the agenda. I'm not actually taking much back because I only brought summer clothes here. I'm just going to leave some stuff in the wardrobe, which is nice. So that has been that. We got brunch, late brunch. They had a buffet on, we didn't even know. So I got a few plates of that. It's been really wholesome today.
Yeah, very nice Sunday.
Really nice. And then we're just trying to organise our flights for some stuff that we've got coming.
Go to Asia, baby!
Yeah, I'm excited. Got some exciting travel plans for the next few months. I'm nervous about it as well, but it's going to be good. And now I'm hungry again. So that is what we've been up to. Okay, I'm going to wrap this video up here. I've just started packing. Just the sight of my suitcase gives me overwhelmed. But I hope you enjoyed this weekly vlog. Let me know if you want me to keep these coming. That is my air fryer. I think my chicken's finished. I'm just making some dinner. But I really enjoyed bringing you along throughout my week. I've got a really exciting week next week planned, so you can definitely keep these coming. But let me know in the comments. I thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.